Hey guys, AnnaFan97203 here. So, doing a modification video talking about a couple of old Nerf Mavericks. Now these are very old Nerf blasters, very similar to the strong arms. So they have their prime is up here, hold back, trigger right there. You have a, come out, 6-round barrel, or cylinder, I should say. This one's older, so it's having a bit of issue. And it's similar sizing also. So, pretty cool blaster. Old one, so that's nice. But I've got a few of these, and well, first of all, I want to show you how it's supposed to work. Turn it back, pop it open, plug a dart in, pop it closed, make sure it's on the right side. Hold my hand here so it doesn't go flying. And of course it would go flying out that way. And then we'd continue to do that until we've nailed all of our opponents. So we'll take that dart, throw it to the side. Now here is another one. So you can see there's some random painting and crap that's been done there. Just ignore that. That really has no feature on the blaster. Now, prime and ready to go. Yeah, it doesn't actually work. There's something wrong with the priming mechanism, so it doesn't actually prime. Pull it back, and the slide comes back, and the spring extends in here. There's a little spring in there that extends, but it doesn't prime. So you can just keep pulling the trigger and nothing happens. And so you can hear stuff moving in there. Something is broken inside. So I'm going to, in this video, I'm going to pop these both open, compare them, and try and fix this one if we can. Not sure if we can, because again, that's a broken piece. Not even sure what it is, but then again, it may be a spring, such as this one, that may have fallen out of place and is bouncing around in there. And if that's the case, then that is an extremely easy fix. But I have a feeling it's plastic. And if it's broken plastic, then that could be a very big issue. So we'll be back here in a second when I've got them both open, and we'll go in depth a bit more as to what we actually are doing here. So, be back in a second. Okay, so we're back, and we've run into an issue with this one, which is the damaged Maverick. So, normal Maverick, put this one front and center here for a minute. This one, I've taken all the screws out of, and I can just lift the slide bit here, right off, take the other section of the slide off, and butterfly it open here, from the front, and then get in on the handle, and then boom, got the shell. Very nice shell. We'll set that aside for now, along with the slide pieces. We can see all the internals, and we can see how all this stuff works, which I will go over here in a minute. Cannot actually get there are 3 screws that I cannot get off. This one in the slide, this one in the slide, and one that's under there. It goes in right there, I believe it is. Right there, so you can see. Let's try and shine a bit more light on it. It's on the edge, so it's kind of hard to tell without good light. So there's a screw under there, excuse me, that I cannot get to, which means the shell itself is sealed shut. Even if I were to break this off, that would still be, well, actually then it wouldn't be sealed anymore, but it could be rusted. These two are damaged in a way so that I cannot unscrew them. So I can't seem to get this blaster open. I can attempt to pry it open, see if I can get parts to fall out. Because if I can get parts to fall out and I find any, well, the springs would fall out anyway. I don't know, I might be able to figure out what the problem is if I pry it open just right. If I see any broken plastic, then there's our issue. I'll go over everything is once we get the broken piece or spring or whatever it is out. Ooh, is this it? Is this it? Is this it? Okay, that is broken plastic, alright. Let's try this open a bit more. Oh, we got that out. Alright, that's just the normal internals rattling as it's being opened. That's the little barrel bit. So, this little piece right here, you can tell it's orange and it's got clear stuff on it. That's a piece of plastic, because obviously the springs are metal, the springs are silver. But the internals themselves are all bright orange. So, I'll be back in a second when I figure out what this is and what all this extra crap on it is. So I'll be back in a second when we figure out what the heck is going on. Okay, so, I think I figured it out. So, the reason that it's not priming is because of this bit here, broke off. This piece here, this orange piece, it has some sort of super glue on it, so I'm guessing this is broken off in the past and somebody attempted to super glue it back on, but it's the top of this. So at some point, the metal bar right here, which goes right here, it's also connected to a spring when it's all put together, but when you pull the side... Oh god, everything just went everywhere. Oh my god. Well, this piece is out. You can see this bit just broke off, meaning that when you pull the slide here back, it just goes right over it, instead of hooking it and pulling it back. And when you pull this back, this fills the air tube, or the plunger. This is actually what propels the darts, so when you pull the trigger, the catch releases this and it goes forward really quickly, because of course springs. This spring, which flew out to be exact, right there. And this is propelled forward, pushes air through this little hole into one of these holes, if you can see here, which is connected to the dart holes here, which of course propels the darts through the barrel and out forward. Which does technically mean this barrel is useless and pointless, as the shell already accommodates for it, and you don't actually need that to help you. Now, first, oh my god, my pictures went flying everywhere. So, the thing about this is, it literally means that this thing is unprimable as it is. This has no... The super glue obviously failed, whoever tried to do that. At least I'm guessing it's super glue. If it's not, then somebody did something really stupid. But it's probably super glue. And if that is the case, then there's really not much of a chance of fixing that. I mean, potentially it could be super glue, but apparently the super glue didn't work. I get all the other internals stayed in, so I just need that little spring there. So, it really means that this whole top bit, the part that actually fires the dart, just won't activate. None of this activates. So when you pull the trigger, this catch system, which should be like this, does not go up, releasing the tube. And so it just spins the cylinder, but it does not actually fire, which, if we pull the trigger, is exactly what we're seeing happen. So apparently that's our issue here. Nice to get this little piece of plastic out. It does mean that this thing is pretty much unfixable, as this has obviously been super glued. I could potentially sand pieces of this off, and maybe super glue it back on, let it cure properly this time. I'm guessing it didn't last time. Give it time to kind of sit and for everything to bond correctly. But, you know, that's not even going to be possible if we can't get this slide off, because underneath the slide down here is exactly where it is, because our slide is right here. So if this whole area is inaccessible, we cannot repair anything under there. Considering that's where the problem is, we literally have no access to this. I mean, to be fair, kind of knew that's where the problem would be, because that's the whole priming section. So that's our issue. If you're wondering what all this other stuff is, since this is the part that actually fires the blaster, just up here, all of this in here is what spins the barrel on the trigger pull, or sorry, the cylinder. Because if you didn't do that, you would fire out of the one barrel, and then you have to manually spin it, and fire, spin it, fire, spin it, fire, spin it. And you're already having to pull the slide back, and then release it forward whenever you go to fire. So if you have to pull the slide back, you know, say you had to pull the slide back, turn this, pull. That's extremely slow. Just pulling the slide back and pulling the trigger, pulling the slide back, pulling the trigger is a lot faster. So that's what that whole mechanism is. It's the same with the strong arm, which is the newer, the elite, as they call the new blasters. That is the elite version of the Maverick. Looks a bit different, but pretty much the same thing. Just new shell, and it doesn't have a reverse plunger. It has a direct plunger. I think I'll make a video on that, because anyone who doesn't already know about that is probably like, what the heck? And they probably don't see why this thing sucks. I mean, it doesn't suck, but it sucks. It's one of those things where you have to modify it for this thing to be able to stand up in battle to other blasters, newer ones at least. So, I guess we found the problem. Doesn't look like we can fix it, sadly, but we were able to get the barrel out. You can potentially use that as a barrel attachment piece. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned a bit about this style of blaster. Both the Maverick and the Strong Arm. Not so much about the Hammer Shot, that's a bit different. I'm hoping to pick one of those up soon and take it apart, show it to you guys, and modify that one. Get a paint job on there, that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, so that's all for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.